some reason.
Right, and here we go. Sorry about the delay. We're in to commentate Division 3. I literally just got in as we seen Pickle DNF coming up to this right-hander just before the DRS. Well, the DRS activation would be. Let's get some links out to people to let them know. Right, let's get this posted out to going live. Div 3 Spain. But yeah, we're in for Division 3 late drama safety car. Late drama. I believe Pickle wasn't feeling too well anyway, but we're here now to do the commentary for Division 3. And yeah, hopefully it all goes well. Yeah, no worries, buddy. Take it easy, lad. See you in a bit. Yeah, GG, mate. GG. Right, we'll drop out of that. And now we can focus on just chilling, seeing how these guys get on. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. And here we go. He's going to have to slow it right down, Piastri. Gonna have to slow it right down. The safety car is nowhere near in yet. And he's going. He's gone. He didn't catch up Tomboy as much as he thought he would. As we go down into turn 1, Tomboy is closing the gap using that slipstream. Got such a low downforce, low road height as well. You can see by the sparks flying off his car, going down the pit straight. As we look further down the grid, Great Ace doing well by the looks of it. Let's have a look at the position changes to have a look and see the biggest losers and winners so far. 2 Alfa Romeos looking to be fighting side by side there. And 50 Gent under pressure from Stewart. Got a yellow flag there. And that's Great Ace. Commentator's curse. Shit. I do apologise there, Acey man. Mr. Zoom. Of 5 places, sorry. Seemingly doing well. And the chase for these Alfa Romeos for 50 Gent is on. But it's got to be careful though of Stewart, who's putting the pressure on, has a little look up the inside there and then tucks back to the racing line. 50 Gent holding a nice middle line there to try and defend very nicely from the sister team of AlphaTauri. Stewart again having a little look up the inside. Decides to stick behind 50 for now. Some clean racing so far. I think it was only just a mistake on Pickle's part that cost him. And Alex is battling with Edvir here. Edvir looking to get back on Alex here, who's new to the league. First race here, and we've had Mendel who spun. Yellow flags there, gets going again, and that allows Stewart through. 50 went as well. Missed 50 spinning as well. DRS is back enabled again, and AlphaTauri is finding themselves back in, well, good form here. 4 and 5. And Fig will have so much pressure now on this next lap with DRS behind him. Needs to close that 1.4 second gap to Tomboy to try and help him defend against the guys behind him. And Tomboy did drop a little bit back, but is now within DRS of Piastri. Oh, as I say, that is in and amongst the DRS activation zone. Just out of it at the moment. It all depends on his entry to his left-right. Gets into it though, and I think he's got DRS as he comes up onto the straight. Yes, he does. This will help him now close the gap to P1. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Skippy. Skippy has had a issue there. He's gone way off there. Maybe, don't know what happened there with him, but he's come back on track safely. Don't know whether that was an issue with somebody else, but Tomboy, DRS, not closing the gap though. So maybe Piastri using a bit of battery there to pull away and defend. Good evening, Dom. How are we? Mad Mark, how are we? Yeah, we was late to tuning in. We got in at lap 9. I don't know where Iron is. I was hoping that he would have been here to catch the first half of the stream, but yeah, I'm not too sure where he is. I've just had to leave one race to jump in. But Stewart getting ahead of Figueroa here, who must have got done on the DRS straight, and will now face pressure from Mr. Zoom as well. Right in the middle of an AT sandwich. And Edvir was looking to go around the outside of Mendel there, but had to slot in behind Mendel in the end. Piastri has pitted. Piastri has pitted. What tyre will he look to go for? He's going for the, not an undercut, but is covering off the undercut. And he looks to go for some hard tyres. Let's have a look at the tyre situation across the grid. Tomboy on 15 lap old mediums. Stewart had an early pit stop and got onto the hards. So did Figueroa. So there might have been an early safety car as well, I'm presuming. And Saviour's pitted as well. So far only Saviour and Piastri have pitted recently. So we get on board with Figueroa as he is trying to close the gap to Stewart, but Stewart keeping a nice gap here. I wonder if Tomboy will pit now to try and cover off Piastri and try and limit down the amount he'll gain. No, he stays out. Must feel he's still got some good pace on those mediums for now. Stewart blinking away. Figueroa's looking, sniffing an opportunity to get up the inside. Stays behind though for now. Mendel closing the gap after his mistake early on. But it's coming under pressure here from Edvir and 50. Figueroa's got the DRS now. Closing the gap to Stewart. Stewart still not being able to... Ooh, rear end sticks out a little bit there. Mr. Zoom slowly dropping off here. Maybe these guys are struggling on these tyres. But Mendel dropping a few gears there. It seemed a little bit strange. But has the DRS now. He's burning some battery to close that gap to Stewart. He makes a move up the inside and gets the move done well before the corner and takes P2, starting on lap 18. But if we know Stewart all too well, he will not let this slide. He'll come straight back at him, but we've got a yellow flag, and it's Alex Koa, who has spun on the exit of turn 1 and has rejoined track. Still able to keep going. Piastri on the charge. And Figueroa stays ahead still of Stewart. Oh, Stewart! Almost loses it there, but saves it just about. Teammate has to dodge out the way, goes very wide, and he loses the position again. Mr. Zoom will be really annoyed with that one with his teammate, as now he finds himself coming under pressure from Edvir. But Mr. Zoom has the DRS, gets up past his teammate, going into turn 1. Leaves a little bit of space for his teammate on the outside, who's now got increasing pressure from Edvir. Will he make the move up the inside? No, he won't. He was tucking behind, waiting, sizing up the opportunity. He knows that the AlphaTauris are a little bit squabbly at the moment, and just waiting for an opportunity to pounce. As this is bringing the pack together between 3rd place up to 7th place. And Great Ace getting done by Piastri, who's on the fresher hards. Great Ace just moves out the way. And Edvir's had an issue. He's spun round. Oh dear, we always miss that. Spinning round, and Figueroa into the pits along with Tomboy. Fitting the soft tyre, Tomboy. And Figueroa goes for the mediums again. Tomboy looking to push, but Piastri coming well out ahead of him. Maybe staying out a few extra more laps has cost him here. But Piastri will take those hards to the end. And the guys ahead of him will need to pit again. Edvir could potentially take these to the end, but he will start to struggle in the final few laps. Piastri not too far away from him though as well. 1.4 seconds behind. We'll keep an eye on that one, where we've got 50 Gent though right behind Mendel in the DRS. Mendel had a bit of DRS there with Mr. Zoom, the new race leader. Will most likely pit this lap, I would imagine. it wouldn't surprise me if all 3 of the front runners here would pit this lap. They're just losing time. But they all stay out there, all want that extra little bit of DRS before they pit. Mr. Zoom, light is blinking. Has no battery left. This is a great little battle for P1 here. 50 trying to get involved. Maybe having a little look around the outside of Mendel here. Brakes a little bit earlier. Who will have the better exit here? 50 is on the case though. All three drivers battling it out hard here. Mendel probably in the worst position with his tyres. But there's a bit of a DRS battle going on here. Mr. Zoom using his battery to stay ahead. Mendel can't get closer though. Still tucking in, following on. And Mendel bites the bullet, goes for the pit. And 50 stays out. So does Mr. Zoom. Pushing these mediums so far. Usually they've got like a life expectancy of like 15 or 16 laps, but they're pushing it to the absolute limit. And Tomboy setting the new fastest lap of the race. Oh no, Stewart setting the fastest lap on those fresh mediums. Used a sizable chunk of ERS to set it though. But Piastri getting the move done on Edveer as well in that previous lap. Great racing here so far, as 50 is right up behind Mr. Zoom now. DRS is open. Has a little look up to the inside there and just tucks in behind still. Mr. Zoom doing really well to hold off 50 here. Both drivers showing respect. But tyres are an issue here, and both of them I would imagine should pit soon. No! Staying out for another lap again. But oh my word, look at that pace of the DRS and ERS difference here with 50 becoming the new race leader. Going down the main straight. Doing so well on these 18 lap old mediums. My word. Maybe trying to extend it out to get on some softs at the end. But all this is doing is allowing Piastri to close the gap. Edveer now within DRS, Figueres in DRS as well of Tomboy. Got ourselves a bit of a DRS train on the go now. And it all comes down to who has the better exit. Tomboy on those softs has a major exit. Uses the DRS and ERS to pull up the inside of Edveer. Gets the move done and makes it stick at the end of sector 2, and now Edveer increasing pressure from Figueroa. Zoom and 50 pit. Piastri now retakes the lead because of the 2 pitting, and Tomboy slots into P2, Edveer P3 and Figueroa P4. Stewart overtakes his teammate now. And it's almost slotting back into how it was previously. Mendel ahead of Mr. Zoom now by some margin, 5 seconds. Took them tyres way too long. Alex has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Slaps on a fresh set of mediums. Oof. We did just about see DNF. Well, I was seeing it before I went live. That was so unfortunate, Pickle. As we now move further up the grid, Stuart now all over the back of Edvia. Sees that he's running on low battery as well. The light was blinking. And Stuart having so much more grip here than Edvia. Edvia decides to pit so much earlier on those hards. But gets the move done. And up into P4 Stuart goes. What tyre will Edvia go for here? It's a fresh set of softs. And Mr. Zoom straight ahead. Looking to be battling with 50 now. Well, you were quite ill though, weren't you, as well, Pickle? So don't put yourself down too much. It's just unlucky. As we move further up the grid, Tomboy is right on the back of Piastri. Piastri now just has to try and ride this wave here. These soft tyres of Tomboy's will drop off at some point, but just got to keep it clean. The tyres will come back to Piastri in the end, but for now he may be gobbled up here on the main pit straight. He's got DRS. Tomboy moves up the inside and is alongside Piastri here, who he does get the move done. Tomboy moves across just before the braking zone into turn 1, and Tomboy is the new race lead. How will Piastri react to this? His light is blinking. Tomboy's seen it beforehand. He knows that his battery's low. And now it's just a case of race management now. Try and pull away as quickly as possible. And Figueres almost on the scene here. Wants better than P3. He wants that P2 spot, and he will be chasing Piastri. Eight laps to go. And Piastri is out. Or was just for a moment there out of DRS. He's now done enough to try and get back into it now. Just before the pit straight. How will the grip difference fare though as he comes around the final corner? He's pulled out the DRS gap. But will he get the activation? No, he doesn't. He gets out of it. Tomboy has broke free of the DRS and will now have so much pressure from Figueres going into turn 1. The Alfa Romeo closing the gap. Both lights are blinking. So is Stewart's. All drivers giving it everything that they've got. Waiting for the battery to recharge and to go again in the next DRS zone. Yes, Stewart's not too far away now. 1 second from being on the scene. And this could play well into his hands if Piastri can't get a wiggle on. The guys behind him are on fresher mediums, but they will drop off sooner rather than later. And Figueroa's all over the back of him now. Gets the DRS. Still follows on behind. Charging the battery. And Stewart now within the DRS. Will have an opportunity now to be involved in this freeway battle for P2. Ooh, takes out a side with him there. Don't know who that was. But Stewart did get the DRS there. And Piastri is about to get gobbled up here by Figueres going into turn 1. And gets the move done. Will Piastri be kicking himself about picking the hard tyre? But Figueres goes into P2 now. Piastri P3 and Stewart not far behind in P4. Gaps all across the grid. But we've got Grey Ace now all over the back of Edvia. We've got a yellow flag of Alex losing it there and having to come back on track. Let's go back on board with Great Ace, who's right behind the back of Edvia. The Battle of the Softs. Great Aces are 2 laps older than Edvia's, but that won't trouble him. He will close this gap. It's still within DRS. As we get on board and see from his POV, the DRS has closed the gap a little bit, and seemed for a brief moment that Edvia's battery is still charging, or he knows it's low. And the freeway fight for P2 has intensified here. Stewart is right on the back of Piastri. So much closer here. Had a little brief look up the inside there and chose to stay behind Piastri. Tomboy will be happy with this now. The 3 guys behind him fighting away, losing time. As we come up now to the first DRS activation zone in the lap. Piastri and Stewart all looking down the inside, choose to stay in line though. Waiting for their moment, sizing Figueres up for the main pit straight. They know they'll have a better opportunity of getting it done on the main pit straight. And here we go. The AlphaTauri and the McLaren both looking at Figueres in the Alfa Romeo. All 3 lights are blinking. Piastri moves to the inside, goes side by side with Figueres going into turn 1. And Piastri makes a move, done. It sticks for now. But not Mendel, Figueres is coming around the outside. He wants more action on this. Can he make it stick on getting the move back on him? No, he can't. He tries to hang it around the outside, but Stewart, out of nowhere, up the inside. Makes up a place after that error from Figueres. But Fig having the better exit there. Gets up the inside of Stewart. And Fig goes a little bit deep. Stewart getting the switch back on him as well. Great racing from these 3 drivers. Keeping it clean. What a show these 3 are putting on for us right now. Now Stewdog sizing up a move on Piastri, coming down the main pitch straight here. Has the DRS. Can he make the move before turn 1? He's gaining and gaining. There has a little look up the inside. Isn't close enough though to make the move, but it brings him a lot closer now to Piastri. And Piastri now is trying to set his sights on Tomboy up ahead, whose softs must be crying out now on the 11 lap old softs. They will be crying, hurting. And now these guys are gaining on Tomboy. Stewart closing. 4/10 adrift. Going into the DRS zone. But Figueres is all over the back of him here. Stewart has the help of DRS as well, though. That keeps him alive in P3. Here we go, onto the main pit straight we go. Stewart is a little bit closer to Piastri this time. He's in the slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's using battery. He comes up side by side, Piastri's on the inside line. Stewart moves across and into P2. Great move there from the AlphaTauri driver. These 3 drivers, oh my word, putting on a show for us. Let's move to penalties. So Alex has got 11 seconds of penalties further back. We got a yellow flag. Is that Skippy? Skippy's had a moment there. I'm not too sure what happened with Skippy. He's missing an end plate. As we go back on board with the three drivers battling it out for the podium. And Mendel slowly getting onto the scene as well. Could we see this three-way fight become a four-way? And Stewart is closing the gap to Tomboy as well. 1.4 seconds adrift from P1. But for now, we'll have pressure from the guys behind him, the McLaren and the Alfa Romeos. The DRS open, and Figueres almost having a little look up the inside of Piastri. Follows on closely. Stewart having a little bit of breathing room while Piastri is defending from Fig. And Stewart has now closed his gap to 1.1 second now. It's the final lap. I've only just clocked it. I didn't see it. But Tomboy leading by 1.1 to Stewart. Can there be any moves here? Will we see any changes down this last DRS straight? No moves as of yet, but anything can happen in this closing stages now. Stewart bringing it down to below a second now. And is right up. Closing and closing on Tomboy. But it's not going to be enough. If there was one more lap, it would have been a lot more interesting. But Tomboy is your Division 3 winner at the Spanish Grand Prix. Stewart P2, Piastri P3, Figueres P4, Mendel P5. 50 come home in P6. Ed Via coming around the final corner now in P7. Mr. Zoom as well, P8. Skippy not too far away, second to last corner in the Aston Martin. We'll take home P9. And P10 at the moment is Medal Saviour. Looking for his first set of points since joining this season. And for some reason it's saying that Figueres is DNF'd. That's not right. That's not right. What the hell? They had already crossed the line. Excuse me? I am utterly confused because they completed the race. They crossed the line. How weird. But great race there for Tomboy. P1. Stewart P2 and Piastri P3. They make up your podium for this evening. Gutted I missed the first 9 laps. Pickle DNFing, bringing out the safety car, shaking up a few people's strategies. There you go. I'm not too sure why it DNF'd both Figueres and Mendel. I don't know if it's because they left the session before the end. Might be because of that. But we'll resort the screen for that, as that isn't right. Stewart picking up the fastest lap point as well. Gives him 19 points for this session. But great result. On to next week for Division 3. They have Spa-Francorchamps. And that's a sprint event, I believe, as well. So until next week, guys. Division 2 on Wednesday around Singapore sprint. Division 1 on Friday. Portimao. And then next Sunday, Spa Sprint for Division 3. What an evening. Until next time, guys, I hope you all have a good weekend and a good week. See you all Wednesday. Have a good night.